Baldwin, who worked so hard for these funds, we're making sure that the construction materials of this project are made in America. And if I can digress for 1 second. Look, you know, I've been very involved for a while. I know I look like I just arrived, but all kidding aside, I didn't realize, even though I was deeply involved initially in the civil rights movement that got me involved to run for the first place, I didn't realize that back in Roosevelt's term, when they were going through the fights where the unions could organize, they added a provision to the law that not many presidents paid attention to. And it says that if the Congress appropriates money for the president to spend on a public project or any project, that he must use an American worker and he must use American material. Folks, very few live by that. Very few presidents did that, but not anymore. That's why we're creating jobs. Look, folks, you've lived in and felt the decisions made decades ago. Today, we're making decisions to transform your lives decades to come, and we're doing it all across America. Let's be clear. This groundbreaking investment comes from 2 historic laws I signed with the support of Tammy and Gwen. My Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, most significant law modernizing our roads, bridges, and so much more in generations, most consequential investment. Another law, the Inflation Reduction Act, which is the most significant investment in fighting climate change and advancing the environment ever in history anywhere in the world. That's not hyperbole. And they're already making a difference. Look, let me give you one example. Back in December, I was in Milwaukee and met with a plumber named Rashawn, who owns it. Is he here? All right. Who owns his own small business, Hero Plumbing, that's removing hundreds of pipes, lead pipes, so children and families in this community can turn on the faucet, clean water comes out without the risk of brain damage. Well, it was supposed to take the city 60 years to eliminate all these pipes. To do this work, because of the infrastructure law I signed, we're now getting it done, all of it done. Every lead pipe in this city within 10 years, gone. I was proud to have Rashawn as my guest at the State of the Union address last week. And folks, we're on our way to delivering clean water to every American. We're on the way to delivering affordable high-speed internet to every American at low cost. The communities too often left behind, we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding the roads. We're filling in the cracks in the sidewalks. We're creating spaces to live and work and play safely, and to breathe clean air, and to shop at a nearby grocery stocked with fresh and healthy food. We're taking on housing discrimination, increasing access to home ownership, and building more homes and apartments to bring the cost of rent down, which it must be. Everything we're doing is connecting people with opportunity, not disconnecting people from opportunity. And we're seeing progress. Through my American Rescue Plan, we put $1,400 checks in people's pockets to get them through the pandemic. We invested nearly $80 million in Wisconsin for the state's Small Business Credit Initiative, helping countless small businesses grow. In Milwaukee, small business applications are up 70% compared to before the pandemic. Small businesses make up half of our economy. We all talk to big corporations. It's true. They're gigantic. But if you add up all the small businesses, they make up half of all the gross domestic product, providing good paying jobs and opportunities. And everyone who applies for a small business, a new loan, it's an act of hope. And the share of Black and Latino Americans employed in Milwaukee in 2022 was the highest in more than a decade. And folks, wages are rising faster than prices, and now we have among the lowest inflation rates of any country in America, and we're still fighting to lower it even further. We're fighting to lower health care costs, education costs, to give just a little more breathing room, as my dad would say, to ordinary families like the one I grew up in. But let's be clear. My predecessor was an ally, and his allies in Congress, including your Senator Ron Johnson, who voted, he voted against the infrastructure law that funds this project. They want to undo everything I just talked about. My predecessor talked about infrastructure week for 4 years. He didn't get a single thing done, not one. Ron Johnson, every Republican in Congress, voted against the Inflation Reduction Act, which is helping fund these projects, and he wants to repeal it. Look, folks, with your help, we cut Black and Latino child poverty in half because of the child tax credit through my American Rescue Plan. And led by your Senator Ron Johnson, every single Republican in Congress voted against that as well, every single one. I signed a law to beat Big Pharma by giving Medicare the power to price prescription drugs and lower drug prices for seniors significantly. Every Republican voted against it as well. And by the way, guess what? It lowered the federal deficit by $160 billion. Didn't just save money for seniors. It didn't just save money for seniors. It meant Medicare didn't have to pay out those exorbitant costs. For example, those of you, everybody knows somebody who needs insulin for diabetes. Well, guess what? Just lowering the price to $35, and only costs $10 to make, by the way, instead of $400 a month, saved the government all that money. And now they're trying to cut Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. Wisconsin's very own Senator Ron Johnson calls Social Security, I get this one, I'm amazed. He calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Did you ever think you'd hear anybody say that? A Ponzi scheme? Give me a break. You know, just this week, Donald Trump said cuts to Social Security and Medicare are on the table. When asked if he changed his position, he said, quote, there's a lot we can do in terms of cutting. Tremendous amount of things we can do, end of quote. I want to assure you, I will never allow it to happen. I won't cut Social Security. I will not cut Medicare. Instead of cutting Social Security and Medicare to give tax breaks to the super wealthy, I'm going to protect and strengthen Social Security and Medicare to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Look, folks, let me close with this. 4 years ago this week I came to office. Our country was hit by the worst pandemic and economic crisis in a century. Remember the fear and anxiety everybody felt? Record job losses, raging virus that would take more than 1 million American lives. And for every life lost, there was estimated 8 close family behind. 8 children, mother, father, uncles, aunts. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, who failed in the most basic duty any president owes the American people, the duty to care, just to care. And in my view, that's unforgivable. I came to office determined to uphold the duty that gets us through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. And we have. And now we're building a future America full of possibilities. Building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down. That top-down stuff, not a whole lot landed on my dad's kitchen table growing up. Investing in all America and all Americans to make sure everyone has a fair shot, where we leave nobody behind. Look, our plan is working. America's coming back. That's America. That's what this project is all about, the project for jobs and justice, prosperity, and unlimited possibilities. And that's why I swear to God, I've never been more optimistic about America's future than today. Not because I'm president, because we're at one of those inflection points in history. We really are. Things are going to change no matter who's president in a big way. They're either going to change much for the better or much worse. All we have to do, folks, is remember who in God's name we are. We're the United States of America. No. We're the only major country in the world that's come out of every crisis stronger than we went in. Stronger than we went in. There's nothing beyond our capacity. I mean it sincerely. Think about it. There's nothing beyond America's capacity if we do it together. And that's what we're going to do. May God bless you all. May God protect our church. Thank you so much. Thank you, Council.
And there you have it, folks. President Biden's another address, another rhetoric about his performance, about economy, another attack on Donald Trump. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.